In this tutorial, you will learn very exciting things about Adobe Illustrator. Welcome to part 3 of Adobe Illustrator 0 to Hero Complete course. Today I will lead you through the process of making lines. Lines are important foundation you need. Choose the tool that looks like a pen. It is the pen tool. Now just click somewhere on your artboard or virtual sheet of paper. Don't drag, just click. Then click somewhere else. Again, don't drag, just a simple click. Congratulations, you just made your first line in Adobe Illustrator. Now choose the selection tool, a tool you will be using a lot. Just selecting this tool does two things. First, it tells Illustrator we are done drawing our line. And second, it puts us in the mood to select things. With the selection tool, click on a blank area of the page. Clicking on a blank area deselects everything. Now click back on the line. You should notice that there is a blue box when the line is selected. With the line selected, we can next change the thickness and color of the line. To change the thickness of the line, go to Properties panel tab on the right of the workspace, or go to Window, Properties. Under Appearance, you will see an option for stroke. A stroke is what Illustrator calls a line. Making sure your line is still selected. Change the stroke weight or width of the line to something fairly big, maybe 6 or 8 points in the numerical box. Points are a unit of measurement that is much better for small things such as type and stroke weights because you don't have to deal with small fractions. So instead of having a measurement like 0.83 inches, you just have 1 point. There are 72 points in an inch. So a 72 point line would be 1 inch wide. To change the color of the line, click on the small box to the left of the stroke. This panel deserves a little consideration, but first click on several colors to change the color of your line. You will notice that there is a very limited range of colors. To choose any color Illustrator is capable of, click on the Artist Palette icon in the panel and drag the slider to change the color of your line. Now go to Small Menu icon on the upper right of the panel. These panel menus are important and present options for the panel. In this case, you can choose the way the color choices are presented in the panel. The default of CMYK is common for print projects and the RGB chooser is common for web projects. Now let's go back at the Properties panel. Click on the word stroke itself. The resulting pop-up panel allows you to change the character of the line. Play around with some of the choices. The currently important ones are fairly self-explanatory, and we will look at them more a bit later in this course. Remember that the Properties panel is contextual, meaning it will change according to what is selected. Here it is basically duplicating the functionality of two other panels, the Color panel and the Stroke panel. In the main menu, go to Window, Color, and then go to Window again and choose Stroke. Sometimes these dedicated panels present choices not available in the Properties panel. In all panels, there are usually several ways of changing a number, such as a stroke weight. You can either highlight the number, then enter the new number and hit the Enter key. Choose from a pull-down menu to the right of the number, or use the up and down arrows to the left of the number. You can also specify decimals, such as making a line weight 6.5 points wide. Now we will modify the placement of line. The selection tool should be still selected. If not, select it. Now click on your line, hold down the mouse button and drag it to another place on the page. Do it again, but this time hold down the Option or Alt key as you move the line. Your arrow cursor should change to a double pointer to indicate it will copy the line. Release the Option or Alt key after you release the mouse button. Get used to keeping the keys held down like this when you perform an action. Adobe Illustrator and the other applications use this technique a lot. The selection tool lets you change and move objects in Illustrator. The direct selection tool lets you select and move the parts or points of an object. Using the direct selection tool, click on either the beginning or the end of your line. This small hollow box that represents a point on your line should fill in to indicate that it is selected. The other end of your line should have a hollow point to indicate it is not selected. If this is not the case, click off the line to deselect everything. Then click back on the beginning or end to select the point, and drag to move the point somewhere else. Every object in Adobe Illustrator is made up of points and lines coming out of those points. Your line is made with 2 points. To select multiple points in Illustrator, you can either drag your mouse to make a box enclosing both points, or you can select one point and then, while holding down the Shift key, select the other. Practice both ways. When you move a point with both points selected, you are moving the whole line with the same effect as moving the line using the selection tool. Play around a bit with points and lines, making multiple lines, moving them, copying them, and changing their stroke weight and color. If you mess up, you can always go to Edit, Undo. Since there are multiple undos, and since undoing something is probably something you will use a lot, you might want to learn the keyboard shortcut for this, which is always noted next to the menu item. You can also press Ctrl plus Z key on your keyboard. This keyboard shortcut works with many applications, so you might know it already. If you want to delete an object or a point, first select it and then hit the delete key. That's all in our part 3 of Adobe Illustrator 0 to Hero Complete course, in which we learn about making lines, and I hope you all have enjoyed it. Please subscribe if you want to master in Adobe Illustrator. So I will see you in part 4.